Hello people, Annex here, bringing you a review of Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to explain the context to the book, what I liked about the book, and what I didn't like about the book. Also, make sure you stick around till the end, because I want to tell you about this awesome online library kind of thing that will massively improve your reading experience. I'm not usually a stick figure in my videos, I'm a thick figure. I mean, I usually sit in front of the camera, but I thought this would be a nice change, so... In the book, Trevor details his experiences living as a product of an illegal union in apartheid South Africa and his life post-apartheid. For those who don't know, apartheid was a system of institutionalized racial segregation that lasted till 1994. It was a set of laws that covered pretty much all aspects of life in South Africa. It split the population into ranks based on skin color. According to the law, black people and white people weren't allowed to have children, so Trevor's birth was a crime. I guess you could say he was born a crime. Cue the titles. Quick side note, half a century of institutionalized oppression is of course way more complicated than what I've just said, so please do your own research as well. I'm not going to go into all of that whilst pretending to be a cartoon character on YouTube. Back to the video. The book isn't exactly a linear description of all the things that happened in his life. Instead, it's separated into themes, with each chapter exploring an idea, like how language was a huge part of his childhood, or what it was like to go to school where he was the only colored person, or how awesome his mom was. Trevor then uses anecdotes from his childhood to explain the ideas in different levels of depth. It's a pretty neat way to write an autobiography. Also, Trevor is a stand-up comedian, so the book is hilarious. I genuinely laughed out loud several times. And the cool thing is, he uses jokes in two kinds of ways. One is when he's telling an obviously funny story. The other is when he's describing a story that should be really depressing or tense because growing up as a non-white person in South Africa at the time wasn't all sunshine and roses. But the humor makes those scenes so much more palatable whilst maintaining the tensions. Having a funny main character quipping through the tense scenes makes anything more fun. It's basically been the Marvel formula for the last 12 years, and I'd say it's worked out pretty well for them. Now, I know it's weird to talk about the characters in the book because they're actually real people, but I have to mention his mom. One of Trevor's Netflix stand-up specials is called Son of Patricia, and I can see why. His mom is just awesome. She went through so much to bring up Trevor despite how difficult her life got. She was defiant and brave and funny. You can see how her massive influence made Trevor into the person he is today. And in reverse as well, you can see how much love and respect he has for her. Their relationship wholesomeness just oozes off the page. His dad is pretty cool as well. Some of the most heartwarming and funniest stuff in the book is actually when he's with his parents. So after I did that info dump about the apartheid a couple minutes ago, I won't blame me for thinking that I'm an expert on it. But that's not quite true. All I knew about it before I read the book is that it happened, maybe sometime in the 70s and 80s, and Nelson Mandela was involved in getting rid of it. Sorry, but all my history knowledge comes from the greatest show ever on BBC, Horrible Histories, and I don't think they covered it. So I knew next to nothing about it going in, but that wasn't a problem. Trevor does these little explanations of systems and events before each chapter that gives context to what the chapter is about. So I learned a lot whilst getting an eye-opening look into the lives of someone who experienced a lot of struggles typical of non-white people in South Africa at the time. If you're in the same boat as I was, then I would definitely recommend you check it out. Even if you're an expert in South African history, still read it because an autobiography gives you a unique perspective of history that textbooks just can't. So that's some of the great stuff about this book. It's funny, cleverly organized, really tense and gripping at the right times, and a great glimpse into a time and place that's not really taught about worldwide. Before I move on to the negatives, make sure you shatter that subscribe button for more of these book reviews and discussions. Give the video a thumbs up because I like seeing that number go up. It gives me a nice, warm, fuzzy dopamine boost. Have you done that? Okay, now let's talk about the things I didn't like. The book felt a bit short. It's about 300 pages long, which isn't a bad length, but I wanted more, and it's not really Trevor's fault. There's only so much interesting things a person can live through in 25 years. So maybe he should write another one, like a sequel of what his life's been like after he started his stand-up career and got a bit older. Also, some of the book wasn't as funny to me as it might be for other people because some of the jokes and anecdotes from the start and the end were ones I had already heard. There's some repeated material from his stand-ups on Netflix and from the between-the-scenes stuff from The Daily Show. Again, this isn't entirely his fault. I've just watched all the stand-up before I read the book, which actually came out first. So it's just a fair warning to anyone who's already a Trevor Noah fan. You'll see some repeated jokes and stories in the beginning and the end, but the middle bit was all still new and surprising. That's pretty much all the negatives I had. Are they nitpicks? Maybe. Overall, it's well worth checking out. Now, the online library I mentioned at the start is called Voices Between Pages. It's a website where you can sign up to borrow some great books in their collection. The coolest thing about it is that these books are filled with annotations made by the people who borrowed the books before you. These annotations are people's experiences as they read the book, and it could be anything. So you feel like you're reading the book as a group. I've read Born a Crime and The Book Thief through the website so far, and I have to say, the community reading experience is just awesome. So make sure you check out Voices Between Pages. There's a link in the description for their website and their Instagram page for more information. And if you haven't already, make sure you smash all the buttons down there to subscribe, like, and share with anyone else that might be interested. Follow me on Twitter because right now it feels like I'm shouting into the void and it's kind of weird. Comment below what you think of the book once you've read it. If there's other biographies in a similar style that you like, then let me in the comments too. Follow me over on Instagram and Goodreads. Till next week. See ya!